So welcome, I guess, to this very special installment of Primetime from the Bethel University Library. This is the 10th anniversary of Primetime here today. We are your hosts. What's the project?
It's also I believe, if the numbers are correct, and I will say, with everything we do today, don't look too deep into the numbers, because I don't know how accurate things are counted, but this is the 300th Primetime as well.
Wow.
So, look at me over at 260.
That's right.
So, if you don't know us, I'm Chris Gehrz.
Sam Mulberry.
We are Sam and Chris, like Sam and Dave, without any discernible musical talent. We'll be your hosts for this very special celebration. Now, Sam, you're an American history scholar. Can you give us a little rundown of what was life like 10 years ago? It seems like it's been the blink of an eye.
Yeah,
it's been a decade.
So the first Primetime was on February 15th, 2007, which is a long time ago. But I was trying to think, like, what actually was the world like on February 15th, 2007?
Probably just like today.
Yeah, it was a couple months before the first iPhone. So like, this is like a regular part of our life, but we were doing Primetime before smartphones existed. Here's my favorite one. This is what the iTunes logo looked like. What looks odd about this? There's a CD on the iTunes logo. This is, I think our students might not even know what that little circle thing is, but this was on the iTunes logo when the first Primetime event happened. Tom Brady, superhero hero Tom Brady, had won 3 Super Bowls at this point, but anyone who was a fan of football on February 15, 2007 would think of Tom Brady as kind of a high-end game manager. He was not regarded as a very good quarterback. 10 years later, he's arguably, the best quarterback that the NFL has seen.
Was Giselle around?
I don't think so. Not yet. No, we're not going to get into his private life at this point. So Adrian Peterson was a junior in college. So very, very different world. We had not yet been subjected to the Kardashians, so this didn't air until October of 2007. So it was a simpler, better time. And most amazingly, we didn't know how Harry Potter ended, because this book wasn't released until July of 2001. Chris, can you imagine a world where you haven't read the last Harry Potter book?
Yes. No, I have, actually. I can't. That's astounding.
It's the world that I'm currently living in, because I've never read it.
Okay. Well, here's our next Primetime.
Yes, some revelations here.
Okay.
What we want to do now to sort of start off the event, the Primetime is really a partnership between the Friends of the Bethel Library, Academic Affairs, and lots of other folks around campus. So to start us off, we want to bring up David Stewart, the director of the library. Is that the right title? I just realized you should never ask somebody as you're announcing them what their title is. It director of the library? What's your?
Correct.
All right, director of the library, Dave Stewart, to kind of welcome us and to talk a little bit about the significance of Primetime in the library specifically.
Thank you, Sam. I'm happy to provide the karaoke part of our program. I like watching everyone tense up when I say that. There's so many things that keep us busy here in the library. We have 20 or 25 people working here in different capacities. We have a terrific contingent of student workers. We have tours of prospective students, and they stop by my office, and I always listen to whether the numbers about the size of our library are impressive enough. Anywhere between 500,000 and 5 million is fine with me when they talk about how many books we have. And we have a variety of sessions for teaching and classes. Of course, there are committee meetings beyond number. You all know about that. So amid all that, I often find it helpful to remind myself that what we do here can be captured by a couple of recurring themes. And the first one is curiosity. Everybody who comes into the library, one way or another, comes with a question. It may be a small question or a small question, a simple or complex, but it's our job and it's our privilege to feed that curiosity with the resources and the services that we provide. Dorothy Parker is supposed to have said that the cure for boredom is curiosity. And there's no cure for curiosity. Thank God for that. That's one reason why we're here. The second theme is conversation. This library is an environment, and this very place where you're sitting is an environment that facilitates a conversation that is ongoing, 10 years, and is eclectic. And this conversation includes many voices. Of course, there are voices from the president, that's the most obvious. But when you think of what's on the shelves and what's on our network, there are also voices from the past, which provides a perspective that we always need. Even more than that, with our events like our Library Research Prize in the spring, we get a chance to invite in voices from the future, which is really exciting. So perspectives from many cultures over time, from every discipline, and from all shades of opinion. So in its eclecticism, in its inquisitive spirit, in its civility, Primetime embodies this conversation brilliantly, and we're so grateful for that. We're grateful also for the creativity and energy and vision that was invested to get this series started a decade ago, and to keep it thriving ever since. So this is a perfect moment to thank the Friends of the BU Library, now with a new logo, and new content on the library website, and the individuals, Bob Kistler, Carol Craig, Ann Gannon, others who have done so much work over the years to make this happen. And we're so grateful for the collaboration with faculty and students and staff and faculty affairs. And we're also grateful for you, that you have chosen to be here to celebrate this milestone with us. It's a place of curiosity, and it's a wonderful conversation to be part of, and long may the conversation continue and flourish. Welcome.
One of the things that we want to do today is to sort of look back on the past of Primetime in the library. Back in 2010, the librarians presented Primetime at a conference, and they recorded some videos to go along with that. We want to share some clips of those videos with you throughout the day today. The first one is one that I think is really fun to watch because we're used to, when we come into Primetime, having the space arranged like this. There's a lot of work that goes into preparing for Primetime. So they put a little video together to talk about how the library needs to transform to make Primetime happen.
We also want to get questions from the emailer we already have, as well as from our audience here in the Bethel University Library.
One of the great academic strengths of Bethel University is the investment in interdisciplinary education.
I know a man, I just want to talk about it for a minute. And maybe you'll discover what I'm talking about as I go down the way.
moment whoever decided to have Sam put this thing together, work on putting this thing together, you knew that a game show would be an important part of the proceedings. I don't know if that was going to happen no matter who did, but because of Sam, this is going to be true. So we thought we'd invite 3 people, I think fairly closely connected to Primetime, from our faculty and administration to be contestants on our 10th anniversary Primetime game show. So let me introduce them. We'll bring them up. Then we'll start our first game. So our first contestant has been a Primetime participant since the very beginning, literally. She gave the first Primetime presentation on February 15, 2007, from the Bethel Department of Psychology, Dr. Kathy Nevins. Our second contestant is a 4-time presenter at Primetime in the library. He can be heard regularly on the Live from AC Second podcast network from the Department of Political Science, Chris Moore. And our last contestant can be seen regularly sitting in the front row at nearly every single Primetime presentation. He currently resides in the Office of Academic Affairs, our Dean of Arts and Humanities, Dr. Barrett Fisher. So we'll play actually 4 games, contestants. We very wisely told you nothing, I think, of what to expect. You see we spared no expense in preparing for this. We've got buzzers. Because our first round will involve trivia. Now I should say, oh, I'm sorry. I should say our first 2 games,
buzzer.
our first 2 games I think are a nod to something called Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. Now, I know that I'm a history professor, and so you'd assume that I'd listen to NPR every weekend. I have absolutely no idea what Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me sounds like. Sam?
I had to listen to an episode to prepare for this, so neither of us
I didn't even do that.
We're not steeped in the form, but we'll do our best.
Fortunately, one thing that you can do with a history major is go on to be the president of the Friends of Bethel Library and write questions in the style of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. So our friend Calvin Knopp has written for us questions for the first 2 rounds of our game show. Contestants, are you ready? You'll be ready. I believe they're ringing in on this round. 10 points.
We're making it up as we go. That sounds good.
We'll say 10 points per question. Sam will keep score over there. Question.
Now, do we need to test these, make sure they work?
Sure.
All right, David, as you know, the director of the library, you're in charge. If it's a close call, I want you watching those bells, okay? Thank you.
Yeah. On game shows, when they say judges, we're actually looking at David in this case. Question number 1. Primetime has covered a variety of events, expanding our minds, imagination, and understanding of the world around us. Sometimes our topics get a little quirky, kooky, crazy, and other synonyms that start with the sound. Which of the following was not a topic covered by Primetime? A, election shock therapy. B, the moral value of shame and guilt. C, cage diving with sharks. Or D, making the perfect brownie.
David, this is where you earn your big bucks right here.
C, cage diving with sharks.
The correct answer is C, 10 points to Dr. Fisher. To date, we haven't heard anyone talk about their experience cage diving with sharks. We've had people talking about the shock of the election, why shame and guilt is a good thing, and how math can help us bake the perfect pan of brownies. Question 2. One department has presented more than any other academic department on campus, with topics like from idea to picture books. You're thinking of writing a memoir and triptych, or reading. Which academic department takes the cake with 20? Not even waiting for the choices. Yes, the correct answer, if you're waiting, is B, English. 29 presentations is a lot. If you're thinking they got away easy by always doing readings, you'd be wrong. They only had 4 of the 29 as readings. Way to go, English department. We all catching up to you. All right. Question number 3. Last of the first round. Barrett off to a commanding but not insurmountable 20-point lead.
I think he should put his hands in his lap to give us a fair,
mutual disarmament
yes,
as
right,
well.
yeah. And back up from the, yeah.
Good posture. Good posture.
One more rules than I thought.
That's right.
Okay.
We're not familiar with the form. Maybe this is a regular thing.
I'm sorry, I'll stop talking. Question number 3. Primetime has had a lot of different people attend its events, but one event took first place with most people attending. The journalism group that studied abroad in Guatemala presented their experiences abroad in a presentation entitled Textura Guatemala. How many people attended? Wait. A, 50, B, 73, C, 57, D, 99. 50, 73, 57, or 99, Dr. Moore?
73?
is incorrect.
99.
99 is the correct answer. Holy moly, that's a lot of people. Calvin writes, take a look at the space, pretend
And if you had come, we would have had 100.
That unfortunately is true. Bonus! Fake points to Dr. Evans for pointing out my failure to All right, that's round one.
You
Sam?
said I could be Paula Poundstone.
There you go. So we want to share another video with you. This comes again from 2010. So this is a sort of a description of Primetime in its early years from Deb Sullivan Trainer. Oops.
The Not Ready for Primetime, which actually has a couple of names, not necessarily ready for primetime, ready for primetime, not ready for primetime, is really set up to have faculty have the opportunity to present their work and their research no matter what stage it's in. So we're not necessarily ready for primetime. Faculty member would be, maybe it's a project they're working on, say if it's in the fall, maybe they're presenting a paper in the spring, and it would give them an opportunity to do it in a somewhat informal setting and get some feedback. And somehow when you're doing a paper in front of people, you see things and hear things differently than sitting in your office and talking about it yourself. I'm sure the library initiated this conversation, which is really a great thing for us to say, how if we do this together? So some of it, the physical space that's there is very comfortable. It makes it feel like a conversation instead of somebody standing up behind a lectern and giving their presentation. And then just the sense of the library being a place where all types of learning takes place, and it's a place of conversations. And then having it at a regular time, we've kind of settled into this Tuesday or Tuesday-Thursday time. It's now getting to be a habit among the faculty. So faculty will finish teaching their first class and wander down and see who's doing the presentation and just have a great conversation with each other. And then I think it's great for students who either are in the area intentionally or maybe just happen to be there to hear what's going on that may not have known anything about before. So it's really been a great opportunity for us.
All right, thanks. I have to say, I've gone through my CV before, and I should look, was it not ready for prime time, not necessarily ready for prime time teaching? And
It matters.
It matters a lot. It matters a lot. Okay, so let's move on to round 2 of 4 in our game. This is Limericks. Limericks. Now, these have all been checked by a Court of Street 3-strand panel. They're all ethical. We're not doing that kind of limerick. Instead, you will have to finish the limerick. So I will read this. You will supply the last word in the limerick. Ring in to give your answer. Limerick number 1. A primetime event found one teaching how to stand, to thrust, and start swinging. En garde and touche, a dueling soiree. The topic, of course, was on...
Fencing.
Fencing is correct. We saw. Number 2. These presenters don't find themselves begging. They've been awarded a scholarship with a big grin. Professors and students, the research was prudent. These scholars have been selected by Chris Edgren.
Yay, he's on the board!
I'd like to apologize to the English language. Number 3. Art, history, theater, and philosophy. These department students have presented quite affably, but others present, they're older than the student, and they've received an award. Excellence of teaching. That does not rhyme. Should I read it again for the other 2? Art, history, theater, and philosophy. These department students have presented affably, but others present, they're older than the student, or others present, they're older than the student, and they've received an award. Excellence of. Starts with an F.
It's what most of you are.
Faculty?
Faculty, yes. Thank you very much for that. Okay,
That one was tough.
that was tough.
You earned that 10
This is
points.
not an easy game. This is a very difficult game.
All right.
Before we continue, we thought we should take a short commercial break and thank our sponsors. Of course, this includes the Friends of the Library, but, well, hey, what do you know? This presentation was brought to you by the Pietist option, Hope for Real Christianity, out, well, today, actually, for the varsity test. Bethel President Jay Barnes says that it's historically faithful, biblically rooted, and encouraging. Theological Studies professor Christian Collins Wynn calls it compelling and practical, timely, and much needed. Pick up your copy on Amazon, $23.
Sam Mulberry says, I haven't read it, but I'm sure it's great.
We're going to
Will there be a signing later? Can we expect a...
There it is. But I don't.
Okay.
I don't think he has any copies.
By the way,
Is it on Kindle?
it is not. No. So you have to actually read the book, Kathy. Sorry.
This book's on Kindle.
Hey! Hey, Sarah Shady, everyone.
Yeah.
So our next presentation is actually not on our typical Tuesday or Thursday, but because of homecoming on Saturday. So we invite you to come right back here Saturday, October 7th at 10:30, where kind of an encore presentation in the library. Dr. Sarah Shady from philosophy and Marian Larson from English literature will be talking about their book, From Bubble to Bridge, Educating Christians for a Multi-Faith World. Free book to the first 75 attendees. So you probably don't want to get there right at 10:30, probably at like 6 or so, I would say. You should start lining up. So please come back for that. Okay, next video, Sam.
All right, so we have, along with talking to Deb Sullivan Trainer back in 2010, we also talked to some faculty about their experiences in primetime, including the aforementioned Professor Shady. So let's hear what they had to say.
What I love about giving presentations here in the library is it's a very comfortable setting with everybody around the fireplace and close, able to have good conversations. Both presentations have been very constructive in terms of feedback for thinking about where to take a project next. I like the conversational feel of them. Marian Larson and I were co-authoring a paper, and before we were ready to send it off to a journal, we just wanted to get some feedback on it from Gehrz, and that was very constructive. I really enjoy coming to them. It's interesting to get ideas on teaching from fellow colleagues when people are talking about teaching, as well as, there's only so much you can read and keep up with in journals, especially when they're outside of our fields, and so it's really nice to have this as an opportunity to hear what colleagues in other departments are working on.
Okay. All right.
I've been coming to these programs, I think since they started, and I'm absolutely delighted that they go on. I think it's one of the, we have so few places. Honestly, we have no places. This is probably the one exception where we can come together around issues that each other are working on. And in a school this small, we need such places to share ideas, and there's such a wealth of good work going on, of good minds, good research, and so we need places like this. I think the library is a phenomenal place to host it. The only thing is that it's a little small, but that will be a good problem if we find that we can't fit anymore, yeah?
When the Edward Scholars present, or any student presents, I think it's really important to support the students in what they do. I think it's essential that students learn to do research and they learn to present that research, and it's part of what we do as professionals. So I always try to support the students. I think the whole idea of not yet ready for prime time is wonderful because it does give our fellow faculty an opportunity to kind of practice what they're researching and prepare for the questions that they might get in a professional setting beyond that. And beyond that, I love the topics, and I always learn something. And even if it's far afield from my own, certainly the teaching sessions have been wonderfully exciting to me because that's what I do. But when I come to a session about physics or some of the theology sessions, I always take away some little tidbit that I really haven't gotten from otherwise. And not only learning more, which we need to model for our students, but also introducing me to some faculty and students that I might not otherwise meet.
It was great to hear that accent. Yeah, really. Okay, I think we're done with public radio stuff. Let's move on to something Sam and I know a little bit better. Sam, are you ready? Let's play the Feud, everyone. Top 7 answers on the board. We looked at 10 years of primetime presentations. Which Bethel faculty member has given, no, I should say, we're actually going to, you're not going to buzz in on this, although that's part of the game. We're going to go in reverse order of points, so Dr. Moore, you get the first shot here. We looked at 10 years of primetime presentations. Which Bethel faculty member has given the most primetime presentations?
Marian Larson.
Marian Larson. 6 answers, 7 presentations by Dr. Larson. All right. Barrett, I think you have the next crack at this. 6 answers left on the board.
Kristen Sandow.
Kristen Sandow. As presented, but does not make the top 7. Kathy, 6 answers still on the board. Number 1 answer still out there.
Sarah Shady.
Sarah Shady. 5 right next to Marion Larson. That seems very fitting somehow. All right, back to Chris. Barrett has been eliminated with his buzz. That's a very hard game.
That's how you.
So, chance for you guys to put some distance between you and Barrett.
I'll say Chris Gehrz.
Chris
Gehrz.
Gehrz. I know it seems like we cooked this up. Just like
15 presentations, Chris. You need to expand a little bit, I think.
I don't really have anything that's going on Tuesday, Thursday morning. So. Okay, let's move on. Kathy, 4 answers still left. 2, 3, 4, and 7.
Mike Holmes.
Mike Holmes, excellent idea. It looks like all right. We got a chance to run the board here.
All right. Yeah,
Your answer, 3 seconds.
Peggy Kendall.
Peggy Kendall. Oh! Not here to defend yourself. Okay, Sam. Do we go?
Oh yeah. Well, so it's probably been a while since most of us have seen the Family Feud. I'm a big fan of like 70s, 80s game shows. So you remember, like when we reveal the answer, you're all supposed to say the answer and be like, oh, we should have known what that was. All right. So the number 7 answer is
Aaron Johnson.
The number 4 answer. Number 3 answer.
Who's gonna guess it?
Any number 2 answer? Anybody want to guess? Yell it out.
Yes. Sheer coincidence that I break into their one spot by doing this.
That's right. That counts today.
That's right.
So your time until today.
Another video, please.
Yes. So I was interested in looking at not only the number of times people have presented, but the number of people who have presented. And thanks to the work of people like Bob Kistler and Kent Gerber, a lot of these presentations are online. So what I did with my summer vacation was I tried to capture video from what they've posted from as many Bethel faculty as I could. So this is I think this represents at least 115 Bethel faculty who have presented at Primetime since I think 2010 is about when the videos start. So enjoy. see if you could sit through a 4-minute video of people doing this wordlessly. That's pretty much, as I was making it, I realized that's kind of what I had, but that's what we're gonna go with.
All right, for our final round, it's the speed round, and I hope you're all paying attention to what you just saw up here, because what we're gonna do is go through. In each of you, I'm gonna read to you a title of a primetime presentation from the past 10 years. You have to guess who gave the presentation based on the title. So again, we'll give you a chance to catch up. So we'll go Barrett, Chris, and then Kathy. Do we have a minute on the clock, Sam?
We do.
Are you ready? Okay. Braveheart or Sacred Heart? William Wallace. Yes. Tubby or not Tubby? Or what have we learned from mice about obesity?
Jeff Ward.
Teresa de Gaulier. Rethinking Karl Barth's relationship to pietism.
Christian Oswald. Yes.
Norwegian nurses' stories about end-of-life communication in nursing care.
Pass.
Mark Schaefer.
Christian Oswald.
Quantum chemistry of this universe and beyond.
Trey Maddox.
Rowan King. You can't get there from here, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Idea of Online CWC.
Gehrz.
That's what I said. It was actually Sam
Mulberry.
Hard data and speculative thoughts about the nature of the creative process.
April King.
Ken Stein.
I'm sorry.
Buried in Papers, best practices for giving effective and efficient feedback on student papers.
That's April Fending.
It is. Corrupting the Youth, the value of teaching quote-unquote dangerous ideas.
Mary Larson.
Sarah Shady.
That was my favorite one.
All right.
I do remember that one, Sarah.
Oh, wait, does he get?
She gets 10 each.
Okay, so that's 30 points for Barrett. So
All right, it's very
temporarily puts you in the lead at 50.
Hey, Chris Moore, you have to get at least 2 of these.
Okay.
Let's reset the clock. Prepare yourself. And here we go. Interrogating the process of reconciliation of post-apartheid South Africa within the framework of the Washington Consensus, cruel choices in the new social order. The length might be a clue. Samuel's like, extremely good clocks, how we use them and how to make them.
Hoyt.
Yes.
All right.
Flown the coup, explanations for military and political coup d'etat.
Me.
Polyoxymetylates as nanoscale building blocks.
Maddox.
Close, Nyberg, very good. Well, not very good, but okay. Second Life, innovative strategy for teaching inclusivity to nurses.
Is this Sandow?
Joan Tiffany. Shoot. And then, I fell off the stool I shouldn't have been standing on in the first place.
That's the title?
That is the title, yes. 5 seconds.
Brett Adams.
Nancy Bruley. Okay. Math and anime, I'm sorry.
So that was 3, so that puts Chris Moore temporarily in the lead.
All the pressure's on Kathy. The alpha and the omega are temporarily.
I always ran the initial leg in all of my track times, not the last one.
Okay. Are you ready? No, that doesn't matter anyway. Let's start the clock. Lessons on the res, a semester teaching on the rosebud.
Kevin Evans.
Confucian, sincerity, and the imago Dei.
Pamela Irwin.
Paul Reisner. Imagining Christianity from African indigenous perspective.
Samuel.
Victor Zigbo. Institutions, trade, geography, and economic development.
Oh, Tim.
Jeff Jacob. In praise
I
of,
got the right department.
Yeah, no, you're on the right track. In praise of the jogger.
No.
This doesn't seem fair to me. But let's keep going. A modern edition of a valuable Renaissance repertoire, creating a performance-ready edition of Modena F9.9.
Stephen Zell.
Yes. Precarious freedom, uncertain identity, and fraught sexuality in American slave narratives. 3 seconds.
Hammer.
Yes, at the buzzer.
Wow.
That's it. Yes.
That was 3 for Kathy, giving her not a temporary lead, but a permanent lead at 60.
Sam, what does she want?
Say, of course, we haven't talked about your prize, which is
Nothing.
nothing. But I hope you enjoy it.
If this is
Just so I don't embarrass myself.
if this is wait, do you get like Jay Barnes' voice of your whole master
Oh, that's an effort.
option of having Jay Barnes voice though.
Okay.
answering machine.
Before we go, we want to invite one more member of our library staff. Actually, two more, I think. Kate Gerber is going to come up and talk to us a little bit. Back on.
Okay. So I just love my job, actually. So I have the pleasure and the privilege of managing the digital library, which also includes this collection of just this rich platform. It's just a stunning and a beautiful broad spectrum of disciplines and conversations. So I just wanted to pull out three themes that I love about this collection. I hope you do too. But it really is, and this is my innovative back of the napkin notes. So the first thing, it really is a hub of collaboration, multiple disciplines, as you've already heard. I think it's really interesting that we span the coldest place at Bethel, freezing lithium atoms in Chad Hoyt's lab to hot topics of the day, so like Ukraine separating from Russia. I just think that's an amazing span. And I just love how we also encourage and inspire each other with celebrating the combination of theory and practice. And the span of, if you look at healthcare, some of the presentations we've had, everything from helping Somali mothers to virtual spaces and simulating healthcare through virtual spaces. And also I just want to encourage, we have the other theme of extending the conversation. This is such a rich conversation with us present together, but it doesn't end here. We have these recordings, we have this collection where you can go back to. You can engage these collections for your classrooms, for your own research and teaching, but also I encourage you all to continue to present here. This is a great platform for us to share and challenge each other. And just the last thing, look at the archive, continue, and this wouldn't be possible also without so much of you presenting, the library staff, and so much work that goes on behind the scenes, so Anne with the sound, and Jean and Bob recording. So thank you for coming, and thank you for being a part of this wonderful, beautiful community and conversation.
All right.
Okay. Well, as you've gathered, Primetime has been a product of the contributions of many people over the years, but there are a few people whose contributions far exceed anyone else's, and we want to acknowledge them. First of all, it must be acknowledged that Primetime was the brainchild of Carol Craig. And for anyone who knows Carol, you know that she is an idea factory, but this has to rank as one of her best ideas, and she helped get it off the ground, and she was deeply involved in all the years before she retired, so I would very much like to acknowledge her. And then Bob, we've mentioned him a few times, but Bob has been video recording the Primetime since the beginning, making them available to those who can't be here and to the rest of the community and even around the world. So thank you so much, Bob. We have a little something for you, which I will.
Thank you
very much.
And thanks to all of you. That's the only reason I do it.
And finally, of course, Anne Gannon is the glue that holds it all together. She organizes, she schedules, she applies her beautiful graphic designs to publicize, she sets up, she takes down, she makes it all possible. So thank you very much, Anne.
That pretty much wraps up our presentation for today. One of the things I said to Chris before we began was that even if this didn't go well, it was going to end in cake. So there's plenty of refreshments here. Our goal was to get out early so you'd have time to do some of the things that came up in both what Kent and David talked about. This is a place for discussion and conversation, so grab some cake, grab some coffee. The last thing that we want to show you is Anne wanted to have us put together a kind of list of thank yous to the people throughout these last 10 years who have made Primetime possible, so we'll roll the credits.
So on behalf of faculty, I really do want to say thank you to the library, librarians. You are such important people in our community. Just it's a place for us to gather, but also your idea generators. I'm talking with Kent right now about our presentation for November. So thank you. Thank you for making the library a hub of activity in so many ways. Thank you to Academic Affairs for supporting this, to faculty development people working this off-campus studies. But thank you also to the students, to alumni, to those who do join Friends of the Library and make this possible, make student research possible. It really is one of the distinctive and really beneficial parts of being at Bethel in my experience. So thanks for coming. We'll see you at the 20th anniversary in 10 years, I think.
That's how it works.
Enjoy the cake.